Welcome back to the Rosenberg Report. This is a story I wish I'd done sooner because we've done a lot of different stories on a lot of different topics in multiple countries on the Rosenberg Report, but we haven't focused on Israel as a startup nation, a place of innovation, of dynamism, of creating companies, doing things that nobody else is doing. But that's what we're going to talk about today with Ilan Sobel. He's the CEO of BioHarvest Sciences. He's created a product called VINIA. And Ilan, first of all, welcome to the Rosenberg Report. Great to see you.
It's great to be on the show. Thank you, Joel.
I appreciate it. Now, you really are doing something that's classically Israeli, like doing something that nobody else is doing. And you've got this product. I want you to just give the short version, the non-scientific version first of what VINIA really is.
Well, VINIA really is a validation of our platform technology, Joel, whereby God gave us on day 3 500,000 plants. And he gave us those plants for a reason. Those plants contain inside them the critical phytomedicinal compounds, the critical active ingredients that are so important for our overall health and wellness. So we as a company, we have the unique capability to take the cells, just the cells. We take the plant once, we take the cells from the plant, and we ensure that when we grow these cells in massive industrial scale bioreactors, we're able to get the cells to produce all the important phytomedicinal compounds that were originally in the plant.
In this case, the cells are from red grapes because why? What is it that's
VINIA?
do?
VINIA was the first validation, and it goes back to the French paradox.
Okay.
You probably understand the French people, they have a very fatty diet, lots of pate, lipid, but they have one of the best cardiovascular health in the world.
Yeah, that's weird, right? How do they get all that cheese and all those rich foods and the meat and then they got great health?
It's the magical polyphenols that exists inside the red grape. And in fact, there are a number of different polyphenols.
All right, just to be clear, for our audience who's not tracking all this, what you're saying is you looked at all the different factors and you're saying red wine is the factor. But the question is, what if somebody doesn't want to drink that much red wine or even wine at all? Many Christians, for example, the alcohol is an issue for Muslims as well. But it seems like what you guys did was figure out what is it inside a red grape that has this heart-healthy function.
Correct. In fact, there are a number of scientists that went back to this unique phenomena and they looked at the actual red grape and they realized that there were a number of key polyphenols that were able to produce this important cardiovascular health and wellness effect. Okay. The key polyphenol is called piceid resveratrol. I call it the king polyphenol, together with a number of other different polyphenols that all work together like a symphony orchestra, ensuring that you get this amazing effect as far as the overall cardiovascular health is concerned.
Which is what? What's the effect?
So what happens is we went and we took the red grape, we took the cells from the red grape, we took cells from the skin, exactly, the skin, the flesh and the seed, and we grew these cells in our bioreactors and we ensured that these cells produce even greater amounts of the actual critical polyphenols versus what's in the original grape itself. For example, that king polyphenol, piceid resveratrol, we increase the levels 100 times versus what's found in the red grape.
Okay, but you're not getting to, so some people are going, okay, I don't remember chemistry, I didn't do that well in chemistry, I was one of them. But what is it that VINIA does? Set the science aside, but the effect for the layperson in your heart is what?
So what happens with VINIA, it's a natural vasodilator. So we've demonstrated in clinical trials that after taking 1 capsule of VINIA every single day for 90 days, we were able to significantly increase the dilation of your arteries and your blood vessels. And by doing this, Joel, you're increasing the blood flow in your body. And frankly, blood flow is the source of life. Okay. That blood flow ensures that you have more oxygen, that you have more nutrients flowing to your body tissues, your cells, and your organs.
Energy, more
Correct.
Alertness.
More oxygen means more physical energy. More blood flow to the brain means more mental alertness. Increased blood flow reduces your blood pressure and ensures that it's being maintained with already normal ranges.
Okay, so just over the past year, what have you seen in terms of growth?
So in the last 12 months, we now have recruited over 30,000 customers on VINIA, of which 85%, Joel, are on subscription. This means that literally every single month we are sending them VINIA And this becomes a critical part of their daily lifetime ritual.
So you're still at a very early stage of getting the word out. But what I love about this is that it's a classic Israeli company, and grapes are a big deal in Israel, right? We're supposed to all one day, when the Messiah comes, we'll all rest under our fig tree and our grapevines, and the hills are going to be dripping with grape juice or wine, depending on how you read the translation. It's an interesting story of the deserts blooming here in Israel, but you guys discovering that there's more than just a glass of wine or a cup of grape juice. There's something actually medicinally beneficial in what God has created.
And what we're doing really is we're bringing this unique miracle every day to people, because in each capsule of VINIA, we have the same amount of that king polyphenol called Piceid resveratrol as one bottle of red wine, no sugar, no calories, and no alcohol, which is so important. And it's giving you all the benefits of the increased blood flow to really get the most out of your life. And
one more thing about this, and then in a moment, I want to come back and bring you to the next segment, because I understand you guys are thinking about going into the Arab world and expanding, not just the United States and Israel. I want to get to that. But really quickly, there's an environmental side to this. By growing these cells or whatever exactly you do on the science side in these labs, you're saving space, land that could be growing, massive amounts of grapes. So what's that ratio?
So sustainability really is at the core of our technology platform, and every single bioreactor in 21 days, Joel. And a bioreactor is basically, think about it as 1 meter wide and let's say 1.5 meters tall. We're able to produce the equivalent of 20,000 square meters of land, the equivalent of Piceid resveratrol that one would require 20,000 square meters of land. That's roughly 5 acres.
So you're saving land,
so we are saving,
and
literally,
all the rest.
It's utilizing a fraction of the land, a fraction of the water, a fraction of the electricity. But importantly, we're bringing this uniquely soluble, bioavailable, and it's the solubility and bioavailability, in short, for your audience, is your body is able to absorb the critical active ingredients so that it can start working. We have a 12-hour slow release formulation, which gives you that energy through the day and the critical mental alertness, which is so important today. Who doesn't need more physical energy and mental alertness today,
I do, but
Joel?
hold that. We'll be back in a moment on the Rosenberg Report. And I want to talk about this incredible company, and this classic Israeli startup company with all this creativity and ingenuity, about to, or at least considering, going to the Arab world. We'll be back in just a moment.
Coming up next on the Rosenberg Report. Just a few years ago, it was hard to imagine an Israeli biotech company improving the heart health and blood flow of Arabs in the Gulf. But thanks to the Abraham Accords, that is exactly what BioHarvest wants to do. Joel will be back with more of his conversation with BioHarvest Sciences CEO Ilan Sobel after the break. Keep it right here on TBN.
Welcome back to the Rosenberg Report. We're continuing our fascinating conversation with Ilan Sobel. He's the CEO of BioHarvest Sciences, an Israeli, one of these classic Israeli startup companies, full of ingenuity, full of breakthrough science and technology, that's not only become a hit as a product, this VINIA product here in Israel, it's expanded into the United States. But Ilan, you, as I understand it, are considering the possibility of taking advantage of the Abraham Accords. What are you thinking?
Well, Joel, in our world, healthcare has no boundaries. Healthcare has no borders. And what the Abraham Accords has done, it has almost opened a path for us towards millions of people that live in the region around us, that we can really leverage the power of our technology to affect the overall health and wellness of all these people.
Because there are cardiovascular issues in the Arab world, as in other parts of the world, certainly here.
Correct. In fact, the cardiovascular challenges in the Arab world are actually greater than in the Western world. And very few people understand this. And it's driven by the fact that the consumers in the Arab world are starting to move towards a heavy Western diet, in addition, as a result of a more sedentary lifestyle, we're seeing significant incidences of cardiovascular issues occur much younger than, in fact, in the Western world.
But you also have the challenge, right, of, if a French person thinks, well, you just drink a bottle of wine, okay, that's not going to happen in the Muslim world, right? That's something that's forbidden. So how do you get the benefits of what the French are enjoying, which is a rich, fatty diet, with their bottles of wine, and they have a pretty good health record? This is what VINIA is really
Correct.
offering.
So the opportunity that the Abraham Accords has afforded us is so significant, because we can bring the power of VINIA, which gives you all the benefits of one bottle of red wine from a cardiovascular perspective, with no sugar, no alcohol, of course, which is so important in the Arab world, and of course, no calories. So it's a win-win-win, and that's why we see this as a significant opportunity. And we're now really trying to live the prophecy of bringing the power of VINIA to the Gulf region, and we're focused on identifying the right partner. In Hebrew, we say shituf pula, right? Shituf pula is partnering together. The Abraham Accords has given us the ability to hold hands and to actually partner in driving improvements in people's overall health and wellness, taking all other factors and putting them aside.
Well, this is a story I'd like to follow with All Israel News, All Arab News, our sister news site, and of course the Rosenberg Report, because I've spent a lot of time in the Gulf, as you know, with very senior leaders, but also with business leaders, investors. And one of the things I'm not seeing is Israeli companies figuring out how to go into these Arab markets, as opposed to Israeli venture capital firms coming and seeking investments from the Arab world, which I understand that, but I think there's a real opportunity, and I'll be fascinated to track what you're up to. We've got to hold it there. There's obviously more. We'll do more in the future, but that's the Rosenberg Report this week.